What's up guys, Nathan here. As you can probably guess by the title of this video, I decided to run 100 shaped grottos for my early Atlas strategy, and I made some good monies, and I figured it would be a fun video for me to sort of talk about the layout, my experience with grotto, and then of course show you the fat loot, as they say. I don't know, I've seen videos like this and I enjoy them a lot, and I've never really attempted one myself, so let's see how it goes. So first I wanted to talk about the layout a little bit. Now I am showing a full clear in the background, and this is an average clear, and you'll see I included things like Alva or Nico. I haven't actually decided what I'm going to show, but you'll see I showed maybe not the most optimal fast clear, and that's to give me a little bit of time talking, one, and then two, show you some of the more interesting aspects of the map that I'm going to get to in like 2 seconds. So the interesting thing about this map that I noticed, or at least experienced, is that at first it kind of sucks. Like, I'm not gonna lie, probably the first 10, 20, maybe even 30 grottos I ran, it kind of just felt shitty because even though it is a circular layout, there's a lot of like dead ends, there's a lot of like random offshoots, and then a lot of the time the league mechanics or master missions, for example the Junes or your Alvas or whatever, those are going to be at the end of those dead ends. So normally if you would want to just clear the front and then sort of ignore and continue moving around the map, you can't really do that because you have to go do the league mechanics. Same thing goes for Cassia. Either way, like, the map at first does feel kind of unfun and a little bit punishing for not, guessing the layout properly, But here's the good news. As I did continue to do it more and more, because I ran over 100 of these, it really grew on me. So the main reason why it grew on me is I really like the tight paths, because the corridors that you walk, it is like one big circle, and I mentioned that already, but it's very hard to leave stragglers alive, unlike in your open maps like a fields or whatever, or even like a city square, although city square is kind of godlike in the way it sort of spawns its packs. Anyway, it's better than open maps in the sense that you are not going to have any stragglers. Assuming you go to around the entire circle and you go through every dead end, you will get every single monster on the map, and it's really satisfying in my opinion to get to the end of the map and just see that 0 monsters remaining in the top right hand corner more often than not. Another cool benefit of it is if you are doing the blight encounters like myself, I was running a, in my opinion, slower build in this video when I ran these 100 maps. And the Cassia encounters are really easy, for lack of a better way to put it. I mean, the blight encounters aren't super challenging on their own anyway if you know how to do them, but just the fact that she usually spawns at the end of a dead end or she spawns in the middle of a corridor means you really only have to worry about tendrils going one direction, so a perfect choke point, that's if you get a dead end, or tendrils just going 2 directions, and that's if you get her in the middle of a pathway, which is a little bit harder, but I mean it's still easier than if you have an open layout and then the tendrils just go everywhere, and then you get a portal spawn right on top of your pump, and there's like 0 chance you're actually going to be able to get the rewards, and then you just wasted a ton of time. Feels like shit. Point is, blight encounters, A1 on this map, super fucking easy. I know they're easy in general, but they're even easier on this map. Another interesting aspect of Grotto, actually not so much interesting as it is just good, but the boss, it's like this big chaos golem thing. I think it's called like a volatile anomaly or something, I don't know. But it's really easy, and the room itself, you don't even have to click to enter. You just look for these little crystals along the pathway. You see the crystal, meaning you just turn left, and the boss will be right there. You just murder him. He dies in like 1 second. Seriously, like no life. And then he has also very little damage. He deals like basically physical and chaos damage, so he should like absolutely body my build. But with 4.5k life, I mean, I still walk up, I face tank everything he does to me, and it doesn't even matter. The only downside is he does have these summons, and I assume the summons are kind of like Aberrath or Glacier Goat Boss summons in that they're all unique and they all have like pretty good drop rates. But the thing is, he dies so fast and he doesn't phase or anything, so he doesn't give you a chance to actually get those summons. I think I've seen them all of like twice over the course of my 100 maps, because I'm not going to sit around and wait for him to summon every time. Like, there's no way that's like a net currency game. The last thing about this map is the divination cards, and I actually talked about this a little bit in my Golemmancer video, but the divination cards on this map, in my opinion, are like tier 1 fantastic. It has loyalties, Rite of the Elements, and primordials. Those are the like just shitting out the ass amounts of these. Like seriously, you'll see in the loot section, like I probably have dozens upon dozens of all these divination cards put together. And it also drops Hunter's Reward and Pride of the First Ones, and Unfortunately, I did not see a single one while I was running this map over 100 times, but I also didn't juice the maps very hard, and I'll talk about that in the methodology a little bit, but maybe that means this is a better candidate for eldering, because obviously if you elder a map rather than shape a map, you're going to have to invest quite a bit more to sustain your map, which means you're going to have far more chances overall, you know, in the long run, to actually see the Hunter's Reward or Pride of the First Ones drop, because those are very rare divination cards. And just to reference that, there's a guy in my Discord, actually not trolling, and he was also running Grottos. He was running the Elder version, and just to sort of reiterate my point, he ran, in my opinion, based on the quad tabs I've seen, probably a similar amount as me. I don't know if he ran 100, but he definitely ran close to 100, at least over 50, and he did see a single Pride of the First Ones drop, and his juicing method was full sack frags, triple white sextant, rolling for 20% plus pack size. So if you're investing more, you know, Pride of the First Ones, Hunter's Reward, it's not off the table in 100 maps. You know, I can't guarantee drop rates, but really rare cards like that, it's always nice to see them on the drop table as a possibility if you want to get a little rich. Next up, we have the methodology. Now, the methodology, I'm not going to lie, this is kind of where I fucked up more or less, and just take this as kind of like a little bit of lesson. All you other aspiring PoE content creators out there like myself, make sure you plan a little better when you do videos like this, because usually when I run Atlas strategies, whether it be Elder, Shaped, you know, just white maps or whatever, or just red maps that I feel like running, I just sort of YOLO it, you know. Sometimes I'll juice, sometimes I won't, sometimes I'll worry about investing for Nico missions, you know, sometimes I won't, and I didn't really plan as hard as I should have. So the good news is I can kind of say with a reasonable amount of certainty my investment was almost always looking at around 3 to 4 chaos on average per map. Sometimes that meant, you know, paying attention to the sextants that I rolled and adding a torment scarab for that cool new Torment drops an additional rusted scarab sextant mod. Sometimes that meant running ambush Zana mod for enraged strong boxes. Other times I did bloodlines with the increased magic percent pack size sextant. So really it just depended on what I was rolling, but really at the end of the day I discovered the most reliable way if you want to just get sustains and sort of brainlessly sustain a shaped tier 10 Atlas strategy with very low Atlas completion. All you really need to do is double sextant, alch, and then vol when they are a little bit on the lower quant side, the maps that you end up alching. So really at the end of the day, you don't need to invest 3 to 4 chaos per map, but for the sake of looking at the profits overall, we're going to say that I invested 3.5 chaos per map just to make this easier. But really you can get away with around 2 chaos per map if you want to sustain. Next time I do this, and I probably will, if you guys enjoy this video, I'll definitely be sure to invest very consistently. I'll have a plan up front, so this doesn't have to be kind of a wishy-washy video, and you guys have to take my results with a grain of salt. Anyway, I've talked for a while. Hopefully, you know, we finished the video of me doing my run, and let's actually take a look at the loot now, and that is probably why most of you guys are here, so let's jump over to that. Okay, so now let's take a look at the loot here. If you're curious about sort of the raw amount of loot, we have 2 quad tabs that I filled up entirely. This actually was filled up a little bit more, but I'll get to why I had to take some of this stuff out a little bit later. Point is, you can look at about 2 quad tabs with my current strictness. You can see I pick up 6 sockets and stuff, so I'm not the strictest picker-upper in the world. But yeah, it was a pretty good amount of loot. You can also see here, if we look at excellence, this is the raw sort of just analysis of how much everything is worth, but as you can see here, this is not correct. You know, it's out here saying that loyalties are worth 1 chaos. You know, that's some bullshit. Her mask cards are worth 1 chaos. That's some bullshit. So we're going to turn those in a little bit and make this number a little bit more realistic. But if you guys want to have a little bit of EP in action, it says 1623 here chaos of after 100 maps, which would be quite funny if true. For how low investment was. We're also going to take a look at some of these things here. I don't know if this means anything to you, but occasionally I would run some master missions just to sort of break things up. I would get bored if I was just only doing grottos without any master mission intermission. I ran 6 alvas, 3 Anhars, 12 Junes, 5 Nikos, and of course 100 grottos. So this doesn't really mean that much, but if you want to factor this into my currency gain and realize, hey, I'd probably be making a lot more if I was actively running my master missions, take that as you will. And then this is removed currency. This is currency that I actually removed when I was trying to sustain better or mess around with over sustaining or seeing like how low I could go without under sustaining. AKA this is currency that should belong in this tab, but or this tab, but it does not. And yes, I had to remove two tabulas, one for me and one for a friend, because we leveled new characters. So we'll factor this in when I trade all of my stuff away. But yeah, right now that's that. Another thing to keep in mind here is let's see, I didn't sell maps, so it's actually really good advice to sell maps because it can be very lucrative, especially if you're at a much higher tier and you just want to start dumping white maps because you know you're never going to run them again. But personally, I really don't like dealing with selling maps, especially at like lower than red tier maps. And when I say I don't like dealing with it, I mean I literally don't bother unless a map is like, I guess let's say like T12 plus. Like I really don't care. I'll just keep them and maybe run them on a character that I'm leveling at some point. So yeah, I did not include map drops on this. So if you want to like say, you know, I made way more than I actually did, feel free. But to me, I did not, because I actually would rather run these maps at some point when I'm leveling new characters. So this is, like I said, this is the raw amount. But this doesn't really tell us that much because we have some organizing to do. So I'm just going to, I guess, like speed up the video or something while I sort of sort through all these tabs, and then we'll turn in some stacked decks, and that will be fun. Okay, guys, before we move on here, we've got a nice little sort of tidy tab over here that's actually going to be properly legible by Excellence. But before we move over sort of the raw currency, let's actually turn in some divination cards. So let's actually start with some loyalties. You know, very rare divination card. You know, definitely no idea what the outcomes of these are going to be. Who knows? Literally, who knows? Ooh, that was close. Definitely almost vendored all of those. 5 loyalties. That's a lot of loyalties. Okay, so that probably killed a lot of our net worth, but that's okay, because it wasn't real net worth anyway. Let's turn in her masks, because we probably have a lot of those, and that's also skewing the fuck out of our net worth right now. It's not good to mess up the net worth. Again, I'm just about to vendor this. That's so silly of me. There we go. Just a few more sack frags. Nothing special there. Let's go primordial. I should have a couple sets. Yeah, I managed to gather. I mean, 11 cards and 100 maps. That's over 1 card per 10 maps, which is not bad at all. Okay, so this is the first one here. We have a harmony. That's probably the second best one you could get. I don't know if anima stones can even roll off this. 2 harmonies. Woo! Not bad at all. I think I'd have to check the rolls a little bit more here. This is a horrible one. This is a very wait, I'm dumb. Yeah, these are actually both pretty bad because the golem skills? Oh, sorry, it's golems. We want golems have increased cooldown. So these are both pretty bad ones. But that's okay. I mean, they're both worth like probably like 25, 26 chaos minimum. So I mean, that helps our net worth. This is gonna have to go on its own. Now let's go for Rite of the Elements. This is a very even 1 for every 10 maps. Again, I mean, this is like pretty decent drop rates. Stone Golem, not bad. Carrion Golem, nice. I have one of these. Let's see how much a level 21 Carrion Golem was. 5 chaos, and then level 21 Stone Golem is 10 chaos. Nice. Thank you, Mathel. I probably won't sell those in time. Let's see, what else do we have here? Oh, we could turn in a Gambler. And this is like the worst divination card. I don't know why that. Whoever made that is an actual joker. Divination card, nice. Nice. Wow, what do you know? A strand map, how great is that? Superior Blink Arrow, good stuff. And then we'll put these back in here. I'll put this in here. I don't give a shit about maps. Okay, so we have all of these divination cards. Obviously these, you know, are worth different things, so I'm just going to leave them in here and let Excellence tell me how much they're worth. Hopefully it won't be too inaccurate. We are going to do some stacked decks, though. I should have, yeah, I have 12. Could be better, could be worse, but, you know. Blightly gives us a couple. Angerod Staff, nope. Avoid, ooh. Quality currency. Sire of shards. Okay. Oh, this one's kind of good, isn't it? Isn't Glyphic the best? Oh, never mind. It's not. Damn. Prismatic ring. Regal orb. Gem Cutter's prison. Chevron item. Nothing special. Let's turn in our void though. And a vault of Itsiri. Okay, you know. Just about as shit as expected. We also just killed our net worth there because, in case you guys are wondering, the stack decks are actually selling for like 4 chaos a piece right now, so that's not something you want to do. If you actually want to make money, you don't do that. Okay, so these are pretty cleaned up at this point. Okay, so we got all those. Let's trade in some of our essences that are 3-to-1s just to sort of improve our ability to sell them. Do that. I could use my essence tab, but I don't want to mix this. Yeah, that's fine. I don't see any more 3s. Maybe I'm blind. Sure I'll notice it when I'm editing the video. And then for oils, yeah, this is something all right. Okay, so I don't know how much of this I am going to choose to speed up when I'm editing, but here we are. This is the final product of all of the sort of raw currency as well as like reasonable, you know, sellable drops. I am going to remove the 2 exalted orbs because it's just like, you know, exalts are kind of RNG. I think realistically it was realistic to expect like maybe 1 exalt from that, but 2 was definitely on the luckier side. So let's just leave the area and come back, and hopefully Excellence will update, because I think that's all you have to do to sort of proc it. I'm not super experienced with Excellence, but let's see here. Let us take a look. Okay, it still doesn't know. It's loading right here. I'll give it a second. Okay, that's reasonable. So the total net worth is 1276. In summary, just to make this, you know, as clear as possible, we took all of the drops from the dump tabs, we consolidated them into the most easy to sell sort of marketable forms right here by putting them all into this dump tab and reducing them down. We took the stuff that I had to remove from the dump tab while sustaining, and we converted it to chaos, and then we put it in here. We added it all up, the total, basically adding the total from Excellence with the total of things I had to remove from the map was 1360. We removed my investment, and my estimated estimate was around 350 chaos. It was probably a little less, but I'm trying to, you know, estimate on the high side. And then we divided by the time it took me to do all the maps, which I estimated around 8 hours. Again, probably a little bit less, but yeah. So we're looking at around 120 chaos per hour here, and that's not including any of the stuff you got from the safe houses for June. I did not include the stuff from the temples. I had to include the stuff from Ironheart Beast drops. You know, there's nothing you do about that. They just drop on the ground. Yeah, so Shaped Grottos, pretty fun map. Would recommend. Would definitely do it on a faster mapper next time. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you!
Hey guys, thanks for hanging out in the video. This is the part where I thank my awesome Patreon supporters, and really I want to give you guys a big thank you. I always feel like I want to say more than I can, but there's really not much more, you know, I can do in a shout out. So thank you so much. Real Human, Zikrak, Squally, Zuljan, Coda, Julia, Allen, Kepler, Sparky Kata, Fusk, Putzak, Heiser 801, Olivier, Ice Dude, Ginzink, Anonymous, and Orangina. Thank you so much. If anyone else is interested in joining these fine folks over at Patreon, you can check me out at patreon.com/NathanBrotherBob. Your support would mean a lot to me and my bills. And you can also check me out on Instagram at NathanWalkerYT, as well as my Discord there in the bottom right-hand corner. I'm not going to try to say that URL, but you can easily contact me there and hang out and just be a part of my community. And it's good fun. We got a lot of fun people over in the Discord. Honestly, I love you guys in Discord too. I don't really thank you guys enough, but like really, you're a big part of the community. So thank you so much. I'll see you guys soon, and thanks for watching.